So how is the process coming along as far as just assembling the roster?
We still have to 5 o'clock today, so I think we'll talk again today. Obviously, we sent Smitty through waivers, so we'll see where that ends up today. And then as a new staff, I do think there's still a little evaluation going on. Obviously, today we had a lineup where Zadina and Joe were 13 and 14, and that'll probably change even tomorrow. So still evaluating.
Is Söderblom there depends on Sundqvist?
Yeah, I think the 4 days here is going to allow us to see if Sonny's available and where he's at. A couple bodies could slide in there.
So just for numbers, Söderblom might end up being assigned to GR.
That would be a 5 o'clock decision today, possibly. But I think that's something we'll discuss even after practice today. But Umber's done some good things, and he's put himself maybe on the good side of that evaluation. But something Steve and myself will talk through this afternoon also.
It comes down to if he can be on the power play too, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a great point, and that's how we look at it too. If, again, we talk about that balance of what it would look like for minutes here versus what he would look like for minutes in GR. If we're going to keep Elmer, I think part of that would be developing him on the power play also and getting him more minutes. If not, if we can't find power play time from Elmer, we'd probably consider what Grand Rapids would look like for him as far as opportunity in minutes.
Would Veleno be in the same boat as far as a guy that
Yes.
you don't want here as 13, 14 forward?
Nope, we wouldn't want him as a 13, 14 forward. And even then, very similar to Elmer, we would probably want to find a role for him too, whether it's the penalty kill or the power play. Fourth line, if you will. I don't know the way it's stacking up. We have a true fourth line or a third line. You'll see even through camp that's looked different through the 8 games. But with those younger players, if they're not going to get significant minutes here, we'd consider Grand Rapids as their best option.
I was going to say, for Zadina to be, like you mentioned, number 13 or 14 today, I know you said that could change, but what was missing, or what did you need to see from him?
Well, managing his game, and I'll have that conversation with him today. But there literally could have been 5 or 6 guys that were in that 13 or 14 spot for practice today. Most guys, and I think he reflects kind of everyone in camp, most guys had good camps, but there was holes in the guys' camp. So that'll be a message for him, but that'll be a message for 5 or 6 of our guys throughout this week.
When you say you saw a lot of kind of good things from Elmer to put himself on at this point, kind of the right side of that bubble, what were the most important things that you saw?
Puck possession, even him managing his game throughout camp. He had some turnovers. I believe somewhere in there he had a 2-on-1 that he turned into a turnover because he went between his legs and behind him. Even as camp progressed, he started, having a little of that risk taken out of his game. He played a below the goal line type game, still growing in the D zone. Even today, he got lost a few times within our D zone coverage, which is understandable. We want to work with him on that. But I just think having that big body is something that's a little different than a lot of forwards we have.
Easier for a guy with that kind of length to recover in a situation like that because he can get the stick there?
Of course. No, yeah, of course. But we don't have to rely on that. Also, do the right things like we ask everyone else. A few hard strides, get back above, be on the good side of play. Just don't rely on the long reach, because he'll find out the hard way that he'll still get beat that way come Friday and moving forward in the season.
How much can you tell us about the decision to send both Simon Edmondson and Jonathan Bergen to Grand Rapids to start the season? What about their game do you want to see better to hopefully get them?
I don't know. I think both showed well in camp, and I think it goes back to opportunity in minutes, where we obviously, I think we could have foreseen Simon starting with us on day one. But again, what would day one look like Friday here compared to what he's going to get in Grand Rapids? More minutes, more opportunity. He'll play in all three situations, 5-on-5, PP, PK. So we're a new staff. I've never, maybe it's just new. I'm still green in the National Hockey League, but everyone always makes such a big deal on this day and who made the team. I don't understand. I've never understood on making the team on the very first day. I mean, if 3 players get hurt and Camphor's up, did he make the team on day one? I've never understood the black and white making the team. We don't have a yo-yo of guys going up and down. We want a significant role either here or Grand Rapids, but new staff, getting a feel, probably a credit to the group. A lot of guys did a lot of good things to put everyone in a similar light. So I just think it's going to take a little more time.
Well, with that being said, too, can you just comment on how good of a league the AHL is? Because it's not a bad thing for a guy like Simon Edmondson to be developing there either.
Absolutely not. It's an older league. It's a heavy league. It's a hard league, and it's true development league. And we full trust and confidence in Grand Rapids and their staff to develop those guys, not only with habits, but I think they're going to have a really good team this year too. And I think it's going to be exciting for those guys to be in a winning situation and play for something each night and throughout the season.
Derek, what was the message to him? I mean, what'd you tell him that he needs to focus on or concentrate on?
I think consistency in his game, and you guys saw that. There was moments in camp that you could see he could have been ready for day one here in the National Hockey League. And there's other games, he had that step back in Washington. I thought he rebounded fairly well the following game. So I just think it's more consistency. It's hard to do it every night. And I think he showed that in the preseason where he had some ups and downs in his game. But again, a very good camp from him. We're very excited on where he can be and what he can be.
This is more of a big picture question, but wrapping up the preseason, what are some takeaways you have?
I think the guys consciously worked on some of the things we talked about. For the 8 preseason games, we gave up 1.9 goals against 5-on-5. And that would have put us last year with that same statistic where we were maybe 31 or 32. That 1.9 would have been number 1 in the league. Now, obviously, it's exhibition. That's not really a good enough picture of what it was really like. But what it did say is our guys were committed to doing some of those things. You saw we spent less time in their zone. We didn't give us many of those egregious breakdown grade A looks, either odd mans or that dangerous slot area. So it's just a start, but I think there was some improvement in those areas.
With Sundqvist, is it kind of a day-to-day thing to determine whether he'll be available for Friday?
Yes, and the luxury we have is being able to practice hard the front end of this week. Today was a hard, long practice, which you probably won't see very often throughout the season once we get rolling. And that was an opportunity for him to see how his body responded and where his conditioning's at.
4 days off, is that not ideal at this point, or what? I don't know.
I think it's fine right now. There's something to having some rhythm, after playing those games. But I think where we are at, I don't mind having the 4 practice days before we start on Friday.
For him, Haig, and Kopp, who didn't get any preseason games, would they be available for both of those first two as a back-to-back?
I think that would be a Saturday, post-game Friday evaluations. Then we'll be evaluating that all week here. There is something with you can even see today with conditioning where those two are at.
Did you have to deliver the messages to a lot of these guys yesterday, or?
No, that was our management team. I was available. I was here. Maybe follow up this week, but that's that. That layer of management and coach.
Derek, if Giovanni clears waivers, could he be one of those 13th or 14th forwards, or do you strictly see him being in GR?
No, that's a possibility. I think my message, the message I got from Steve was, let's see where the waivers, if he gets through waivers, and let's reevaluate where he's at. So, yeah, that's for sure on the table. Thanks, guys.